This will be the most fitting video about vegetarianism you have ever had the opportunity to listen to and learn from. Once you've seen this video, both vegetarians, vegans, and meat eaters will find themselves completely satisfied and content. So, my friends, look, I am the kind of person who doesn't listen to everyone, but I do listen in order to avoid boosting my pride and coming across as arrogant. That's why I always attempt to listen, and if I listen to any dietary advice or advice on spiritual nutrition, I listen to them, then experiment with them personally, and then strive to comprehend. Why they are right or wrong, that is, I try to conduct an experiment and always give opportunity for each opinion to exist. In general, my story is that I was fat, bald, poor alcoholic. I decided to take care of myself and realized excess weight is a consequence of dissatisfaction with life. Started working on the spiritual side, going to a psychologist, less time on social media, games, more time reading and self-improving. So this is how I found a happy life. When I initially attempted to sneak, I didn't comprehend at all why this post was necessary. I used to believe that religious posts are made to demonstrate some kind of devotion to God. Why refuse animal food? What specifically are you refusing it for? I mean, I didn't particularly ask. In general, when I asked religious people about it, they mentioned that in that place they believe in subduing the flesh. I found it unclear why they do this, but it seems to be important to them. And by the way, in the scriptures themselves, very little is written about fasting. Yes, usually they say there, if you want to get rid of some vices, fast and pray. You're like, well, why a post? Why? Later on, I read a lot of literature. Yes, there were things about food vibrations and similar topics that caught my attention. And after the first post, here it ended, he went, I think, there. I don't remember how long, about a month and a half, I think. I experienced an amazing sense of lightness, meaning that I became less aggressive and experienced a decrease in aggressive sexual arousal. I'm generally such a hot-tempered person, and I noticed that I started speaking quieter, somehow calmer, more peaceful. There was a lightness. I became less to sleep. That is, for me, firstly, sleep became easier to come. Secondly, I could sleep there for 4 or 5 hours, wake up fully charged. And then I thought, damn, I need to study this question better. Why? If I don't eat animal food, why is it easier for me? Being interested in weight loss, I studied dietology and learned how to eat properly during those moments of losing weight. The topic of nutrition and sports is always a subject of debate. Everyone thinks they are the smartest in this area. Someone cannot be argued with, and I tried at least to listen to those people who have experience in addition to knowledge. Because when people share some knowledge on the internet, they usually read something, digest this book, and retell it. Generally, experience is a rare occurrence. Individuals with experience tend to view their bodies from an experiential perspective. So he succeeded at something, yet he thinks it will suit everyone. This, of course, is not true. I generally believe that in modern dietetics, if you come, for example, to a dietitian or a nutritionist, to anyone, you should automatically necessarily receive psychological help. In dietetic books, it was stated that without meat, without animal food, a person cannot, because animal food has many amino acids. Poorly synthesized in vegetable protein, and in general vegetable protein is absorbed more difficult than animal protein. And all the factors that I read about giving up animal food, he reduced to the fact that it's like impossible without it. You can't do without her, but for some reason in reality I was better off. Let's consider what theories of vegetarianism exist in general. Why many people say that vegetarianism is beneficial. There are spiritual justifications for avoiding animal food. It is believed that animal flesh carries the energy of death, as the animals are afraid and wronged when they are killed, incorrectly destroyed, and in general there is this. You consume the energy of death, and any food you eat has a certain energy potential. If you consumed it, that's how you'll feel, which is why different cultures have proper animal slaughter methods. There are moral and ethical norms when it is stated that killing an animal makes you a killer. This raises the question of how one can consume the animal. Amazing social experiment. The woman had a YouTube channel with a mini pig, dressed it up in cool outfits, played with it, started a YouTube channel, and everyone admired this YouTube channel, like, what a talented person, what a cool mini pig. Yes. She released a video, a woman, the channel's author, where she cooked the mini pig. People wrote, "Oh, you scoundrel, how could you? You killed an innocent animal." And then she showed in the next video that this animal is alive, and you are all hypocrites because you eat the same animals every day. But for some reason, when I dressed him in clothes, you are all like that, all right, all good, that's how you are all Sweetoshi. And as soon as I fried it, you were like, wow, how could you? Well, that is hypocrisy. But what happened next? I've been vegan for a long time. That is, I've been vegan for about a year, actively. So you see, I've probably been vegan for 2 years. But in the first year, I could eat cheese with violations. I could sometimes bite something if I wanted, like pizza with salami. And then the next year, I really veganized. And do you know what is beginning to occur? The state of health started to decline. That is, there was a decrease in energy and an increase in anger, aggression, and I did not comprehend the reason behind it. That is, on the contrary, I was intensifying, thinking maybe it's time for me to switch to some kind of fruitarianism. Maybe it's time for me to just be a raw foodist, and I tried to make diets even stricter. And what I observed was that my thoughts became more luminous. Well, I truly experienced a decrease in aggression, and I became noticeably calmer. But it is precisely these qualities, you know, that are inherent in a more animal-like and human being, like there is more energy, achieving results, going to the end. This power, yes, it has become less. At some point, I decided to tell myself, well, maybe I should try eating meat after all, buddy, because your energy is dropping, you have no strength. Your libido has practically dropped to zero, that is, there was no sexual desire. A person consists of 2 components, the soul and the body. That is the body. It is a simulator for our soul. That is, there is a soul that needs to learn some lessons, because this is my theory. This does not mean that it is not a fact. That does not mean that it is so. Many individuals enjoy reading books, and some claim the existence of reincarnation and the soul, although I am uncertain. So I realized that when you permanently give up animal food, you are precisely giving up all material things. Everything that exists in this world according to the laws, so to speak, of the jungle. And we live in it. I have sort of renounced them. Yet I still dwell in this material world, existing within it, compelled to earn money, shoulder responsibilities for loved ones, ensuring their safety. This realm demands the utilization of power for various purposes. Then it occurred. Then the subsequent events occurred. I attempted purely technically to attempt consuming meat once more. And what I observed is that when I start consuming meat again, my strength is quickly replenished. In fact, if you take balance, I have gone too far into spirituality, that is, I am this animal. I will destroy him. Although many teachers, yes, spiritual ones, they say you can't eat meat, you can't. And you trust them without question, but you simply trust them as if you have no choice. However, truthfully, I was unable to accomplish it. While many people follow a vegetarian lifestyle, some individuals in their 40s and 50s appear younger. This is because digesting animal food requires more energy and can accelerate the aging process. And what did I do? I began consuming meat. I regained my energy, and I came to the realization that it is essential to maintain this equilibrium. Simultaneously, for my own satisfaction, I find consuming plant-based meals much more enjoyable. So I prefer this lightness, there is no heaviness and the like. And carefully why I say that both those people will listen to me. I came to the conclusion that without animal food my mood is better, it is brighter and so on, but I lose this animal strength. Simultaneously, if I consistently consume animal-based nourishment, I will ultimately enter a state of heightened aggression, rendering any possibility of spiritual development non-existent. And I found such a balance. Here's the thing, usually how a religious fast works, for example, a person eats as they normally would, and then for a few days they fast. Here's my personal perspective on the perfect diet. On the flip side, I completely avoid consuming any type of plant-based food or ingredients. To put it simply, my diet consists mostly of plant-based food. However, when I feel my strength waning, I supplement with animal proteins. Animal proteins become my go-to source for a much-needed energy boost. Typically, I consume plant-based food as my primary diet. However, whenever I experience energy issues, I resort to detoxes that involve incorporating meat into my meals. This helps me address any deficiencies and regain vitality. If someone asks me if I eat meat, I can't answer yes or no. It's easier to say that I don't, because I haven't for most of my life.